Fine, we'll see the next problem. Again, this is an important problem. This also you get it for your case study. Okay. Udaya Ravi Company Limited went into voluntary liquidation on 31/12/2014, and the following information is available in the form of balance sheet. So you have share capital, which is 2,27,500, reserve and surplus 60,000, which we are not going to consider. Long-term borrowings, debentures. So you have debentures given in the balance sheet. You know where you have to write debentures, okay? And under your current liability, we have creditors 72,500, interest outstanding 2,500. So when you're writing your debentures, you have to write even the interest of 2,500. Keep that in mind, okay? Tangible fixed assets, you have 95,000. Under stock, 27,500. Debtors is given, bank is given. Now under share capital, you have 1,000 6% preference shares, 100 each. 500 equity shares of 100 each, but they have paid only 75. 1,500 equity shares of 100 each, but they have paid only 60. So you have class 1 and class 2 equity shares. Reserves and surplus. Then you have land and building, machinery and furniture. Now preference dividend were in arrears for 2 years. So far we saw only 1 year, but in this problem they are in arrears for 2 years. Creditors include 25,000 on the mortgage of land and building. They have not told which type of creditor is this. We know it is secured because they include 25,000 on the mortgage. The word mortgage says it is secured creditors. The assets realized is given: land and building, machinery, furniture, stock and debtors. And again, since here your land and building is kept as a mortgage, when you're writing your assets realized, you will not show land and building, like how we did in the last problem, the same thing. Expenses of liquidation is 5,450. Liquidator is entitled to a commission of 3% on all the assets realized but except cash at bank, and a commission of 2% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Preferential creditors is 7,500. The payments were made on 30/6/2015. I'll tell you what you have to do with this. Prepare liquidator's final statement of account. Okay. Now if you observe this problem, if you just go through it 2 or 3 times, you will get to know that one information is missing, and that information is with respect to the creditors. Okay. I told you here, since they have kept mortgage as land and building, so they belong to secured creditors. And here they have clearly told you 7,500 is preferential creditors. So which is the other part of creditor that is missing? Obviously it is your unsecured creditors. If you see the question, you don't have information on unsecured creditors. So what you have to do, you should first find your unsecured creditors. How do you find out your unsecured creditors? One hint that is given in the problem is, under your current liabilities you have total creditors given. This 72,500 is given. In this 72,500 only, you should find out how much is secured, how much is unsecured and how much is preference. I hope it is clear. Why am I telling all this? Because in the problem you have information only on 2 creditors. One is secured creditors, the other one is preferential creditors. You do not have information on unsecured creditors. So how do you find out your unsecured creditors? By taking the total of the secured, total of your creditors. So here you have your total creditors. From the total creditors, see how much is for secured, how much is for preference, and the balance will be for unsecured. So I'll just do the problem. You kindly watch it clearly. So before I start with the problem, I will just finish off the calculation. So here I am writing calculation of unsecured creditors. Okay. So the total creditors amount given in the question, total creditors given in the balance sheet is 72,500. Okay. Remember, from this 72,500, we should find out how much belongs to secured creditors, how much belongs to preferential creditors, and how much belongs to your unsecured creditors. All this we should find out. Okay. So first let me minus the secured creditors given. Secured creditors given here, if you see, they have clearly told you 25,000 on the mortgage of land and building. So that 25,000 belongs to my secured creditors. Okay. Then I'll just minus this. So 72,500 minus 25,000, you still have 47,500. Okay. From this, which is my next set of creditors? Preferential creditors. Preferential creditors directly they have given you to 7,500. So the left is 40,000. What is this 40,000? This 40,000 will be called as my unsecured creditors. Okay, I hope this is clear to all. Please understand, you don't have information on unsecured creditors. You only have information on secured and preference. So how will you do this? By considering the total creditors given in the problem. So in the problem, I'm writing the total creditors. First minus your secured, or you can minus your preference. Then minus your preference. The balance you get is your unsecured creditors. Okay. One more thing that you have to remember when you're doing your remuneration calculation on unsecured creditors, preference should always be a part of unsecured. Okay. Please keep that in mind. I'll tell you how you have to do that. Fine, we'll just start with the problem. So this side I start by writing what? To cash. Here they have clearly told you have information on cash and cash equivalent. Within bracket they have given bank 15,000. So I am writing it as to cash at bank 15,000. Okay. Then I start my surplus. So to surplus from secured creditors. Unlike your previous problem, there is no any shortage here. Why? Because you have kept a land and building for 25,000 as a mortgage. Now when you have sold the land and building, you have sold it for 60,000. So it is greater than 25. So obviously there is a surplus for me. But previous problem you had a shortage. In this problem you don't have a shortage, you have a surplus. So to surplus from secured creditors, that is 60,000 minus 25,000, you get 35,000. Then I write all the assets realized. So to assets realized, first asset is land and building, but I cannot write land and building because I have already shown the surplus. So I am writing machinery. Machinery is 1 lakh. Okay. Then furniture is 15,000. Then stock 30,000. Then debtors 40,000. So my total is 1,85,000 is my total assets realized. Okay. So I have done on the receipt side. Let us move to the payment side. So by liquidation expense they have given is 5450. Then I write liquidators remuneration. Now please be careful when you are doing a remuneration. You have one percentage given as 3 and the other percentage given as 2. Okay. So first we'll do, I'll just do here. Working note for remuneration. First we'll do for 3%. At 3% on assets realized except cash they have told. Okay, so assets realized except cash, if you see, it is 1,85,000. Remember 1,85,000 plus building also you should consider, which was sold for 60,000. So here it will be 1,85,000 plus 60,000. You get 2,45,000. Okay, the 60,000 is your building. 2,45,000 into 3%. That is 7,350. Okay, so one part of the remuneration is done. On the assets realized, I am writing it as 7,350. Okay. Next 2% is on the unsecured creditors, but please check in the problem whether you have debentures. If you have debentures, write debentures and then do the calculation. If you don't have debentures, now itself you can do. But if you look into the problem, there is debentures given. Okay, they have told you long-term borrowing 5% debenture is 50,000. So debenture holders, I should write 50,000, as well as interest is given, which is 2,500. So I'll tell you how you have to do this debentures. Please concentrate here. By debentures, first I'm going to write the capital, that is 50,000 directly given in the problem, no doubt. Next I'm supposed to write what? Interest on debentures. When you write your interest on debentures, you have two items here. One is the outstanding interest which is given in the problem. Okay, this outstanding is already given. See here, interest outstanding 2,500. So outstanding interest I am supposed to write 2,500. Then what is this calculation? One more interest calculation is because of this statement. What is the statement telling you? The payments were made on 30th June 2015. When am I closing the liquidation? I am closing it on 31/12/2014. But the payment is made up till June of the next year. So what is the months difference here? 2014 December is over. So January, February, March, April, May, June. So time gap given here is 6 months. So for the 6 months of period, I am paying the interest. That is why this statement is given. So whenever you have a statement on date, consider that statement for your interest calculation. Okay. So here when I am calculating the debenture interest, it will be 50,000 into 5% is given in the question. See here they have given you 5%. So 5% into how many months I am supposed to pay? For 6 months. This 6 months is from December to June. This interest also I should pay them. 50,000 into 5% into 6/12. So it is 1,250. So this is the total interest that I am supposed to pay to the debenture holders. Okay. Please understand, debenture holders capital I have written. Okay. Next, interest. This interest is given in the problem. This interest is what I have calculated. Okay, they are not giving it for 1 year, but they are giving it only for 6 months of time. That is why months calculation is done here. Okay, so please keep this in mind. Now you have to do the calculation for unsecured. So before you write your preferential creditors, please do the calculation for unsecured creditors. Don't forget that. Okay. So here the next set of calculation is at unsecured creditors is at 2%. Okay. So at 2% on unsecured creditors. Same thing, actual available balance in the problem. Compare it with amount given in the question. Receipts minus payment. So under the receipts you have 15,000, 35,000, 1,85,000 minus 5,450, 7,350, 50,000, 2,500 plus 1,250. So here you get 2,35,000 minus 5,450. 66,550. So your available balance is 1,68,450. Okay, amount given in the question for unsecured creditors is 40,000 that we have calculated. Okay, it is not just 40,000. Remember, it is 40 plus 7,500, which is 47,500. What is the 7,500? 7,500 belongs to your preferential creditors. This is what I told you. Whenever you are giving remuneration for on the basis of unsecured creditors, it should be your unsecured creditors plus your preferential creditors. These many problems we did not do this because it was already included. But in this problem, since we have calculated separately how much is preference, how much is unsecured, that is why when you are doing your calculation, you have to add these two only for giving remuneration. Okay, so when you are writing the remuneration on unsecured creditors, it should be unsecured plus preference only. So far it was included, but in this problem it is not included, so I am adding it. Okay, so here, since if you compare these two, available balance is more, so I am using first formula. Okay, what is the first formula here? Amount paid to unsecured creditors 47,500 into percentage of remuneration. So 47,500 into 2% will give you 950 as a remuneration. Okay, please understand this. If you have doubt, you can ask me. Okay, I'll explain you again. So at 2% you have 950 rupees as a remuneration. Okay, I hope it is clear. So up till this we have done. After this, according to the format, I am supposed to write preferential creditors, which is 7,500. Then I am supposed to write unsecured creditors. Before you write unsecured creditors, check whether you have balance or not. We have balance. Okay, or I'll just show you. This side it was 2,35,000 minus 5,450, 7,350, 950, 50,000, 2,500, 1,250, 7,500. Yes, so you have 1,60,000. So I am going to write unsecured creditors as 40 only. Okay, because 7,500 is written, so unsecured creditors is 40,000. Next, according to the format, you should write preference shareholders, which is my capital. Okay, so I have available balance of 1,60,000. Just now I had written 40, so I still have 1,20,000. How much is the preference shareholders that you have to give? 1,06% 100 each. Sorry, 1,006% 100 each. You are supposed to give 1 lakh. So by preference shareholders capital, I will write 1 lakh. Okay. So from 1,20,000 I have written 1 lakh. So the available balance is still 20. So I can pay my preference dividend. Preference dividend is in arrears for 2 years. Okay, so how will you calculate for 2 years? 1 lakh into 6% into 2, because it is 2 years. Okay, so 1 lakh 6% into 2, 12,000 is my preference dividend. Okay, so earlier I had a balance of 1,20,000. From that 1,20,000 I had written 1 lakh for preference share capital. Now I have written 12,000. So the available balance is 8,000. To whom will you write this 8,000? This 8,000 I am supposed to pay to my equity shareholders. But remember, you have class 1 and you have class 2. So when you have class 1 and class 2, you know what you have to do. So please keep that in mind. That calculation also will do. Okay. So how do you do the calculation? Here I am going to write it as amount to be paid to equity shareholders, not preference shareholders. Preference shareholders I have already given. So only equity shareholder is pending. How many classes? 500 equity and 1,500. You have 2 classes. First class have paid 500 equity shares at rupees 75. Second one is 1500 equity shares at rupees 60. So 500 into 75 is 37,500. 1500 into 60 is 90,000. So the total here it is 1,27,500. This is the amount that I am supposed to pay minus how much is the actual balance available in the problem. Actual balance available in the problem is only 8,000. Okay, how did you get this 8,000? Receipts minus payment. Please do receipts minus payment, you will get 8,000. So when you minus 8,000, you get 1,19,500. What do you call this 1,19,500? Deficiency. For how many shares? For 2,000 shares, your deficiency is 1,19,500. Therefore, what will be your deficiency for one share? 1,19,500 divided by 2,000. So deficiency for per share is 59 rupees 75 paise. Okay. Now what do? You calculate how much is for class 1 and for class 2. So deficiency per share, it is 59 rupees 75 paise minus already paid. How much did class 1 already pay? 75. So minus 75, I am getting 15.25. Okay. Now should I return or should I pay them? My deficiency is only 59, but they have paid me more. So I am supposed to return. So to be returned. To be returned means you have to show this under your payment side. Okay. Coming to your class 2 equity shares, deficiency per share is 59 rupees 75 paise minus already paid. Class 2 they have already paid 60. So 59.75 minus 60 is only 0.25. Deficiency is only 59, but they have paid me more. So I am supposed to return. To be returned. So to be returned means you have to show this under your payment side. Okay. So how many shares here? Class 1 500. So 500 shares at rupees 15.25. It is 7,625. Here 1,500 shares at rupees 0.25. It is only 375. So when you do the total, you will get 8,000. Okay, so this is how you have to do. So class 1 7625, class 2 is 375. Total you will get here as 8,000. So on both the side it has to tally with 2,35,000. Okay. Now I understand this is quite lengthy problem, but you have to watch the entire problem, entire video to understand this problem. This is a compulsory case study problem which they usually ask. So please don't ignore this type of problems because it is one of the easiest chapter. Okay. So if you have any doubts in this problem, I am there to help you. You can ask me. I'll teach you again. Okay. But please understand the video and then do it in your notes. If not, you cannot solve the question paper problems. Okay. Because from next video onwards, we will be doing question paper problems. So if you can do these kind of problems, then question paper problems would be easy for you. So please watch the video, understand, have doubts, ask me, and then do it in your notes. Okay.